telling you all that. Yes, record. Yes, we all approve. I'm telling you that because even in the places that you were at, like Leela and everywhere, Shivani, where you are now and where you're transitioning, the sit-ups and push-ups that you learned in corporate America, Keisha, or what you were doing before, we didn't get a chance to really chat through it much. The sit-ups and push-ups that you were doing in corporate, for me, transitioned into creative. For you, will transition into your businesses. I'm sure, Heather, what you were doing before in the dentist office, you've taken some of those great learnings and transitioned for your own, sure, and then made it better, right? What I did learn is the value of a process. It is critical as an entrepreneur that you have a process. And if you don't have strong processes in place, take the time. Shivani, you have time before you jump out. Take the time to think through your processes so you go to the ground running in a different way. Peggy, you're probably doing some of that now as you're tweaking, having been in business maybe almost a year. You started off gangbusters, tweaking processes along the way, right? That's what you probably have been doing. Leela, tell me your name one more time. Chelsea and Jack. Same thing, right? In the IT space. You guys might want to talk IT space, and you two definitely need to talk Peggy and Shivani because of the children's aspect that's in there. Building a brand, continuous learning. You're never not, for me, continuous learning is where it's at. It helps me to network because I'm a continuous learner. I love meeting new people. I love asking questions. I love figuring out what the connection points are. Same thing that all of you need to think about as you're transitioning over into your own thing. If you're not already doing it, what corporate America taught me about networking, structure creates scale. If you have structure and processes in place, you can scale to whatever level that you want to, right? Relationships outperform talent. Who has been in a corporation and you thought, how did that joker get that job? How did that joker get that job? Because let's just say he. He isn't it. Like, how did he get that job? Sorry, I'm not cussing, Tracy, but I'm just being honest. You've been in these situations, you're like, how'd that person get that job? They're not qualified. Dude, are you telling? It is the relationships that they have. It outperforms talent, always has. So it is as an entrepreneur. Not that we're not all extremely talented in here. We are. You are. You're talented because you wouldn't even be in here if you weren't talented, because you wouldn't have enough, and online, you wouldn't have enough wherewithal to even think about coming to this, to even think about using these resources, these amazing resources that PWU provides, right? So you have the talent. It's relationships that might be knocking you out. Your reputation enters the room before you do, all the time, for sure. Has anybody ever heard that before? Leela, you're breathing deeply. Is there panic? Is there anxiety? What are you feeling?
A reframing.
Okay.
As somebody who loves, again, to sit down and do the work, my work is very much like in the numbers, in the process. I meet with my clients, we discuss objectives, blah, 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 and then I go. And then I'm just deep in it.
Yeah.
So I'm having to reframe, especially now in this new era of AI, having to kind of get my whereabouts again and
for sure
get a handle on that.
Good for you. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for vulnerability. That's what it takes. That's why we're all here. I don't have all the answers, just so you know that. I don't have all the answers. I just have the experiences that I've had that I willingly, freely share. I live my life with my hand open. Whatever God gives to me, I believe that it's to give to other people. And he's going to do with it what he wants to do with it. But if I've had a learning experience, Leela, I am here to share it with you. If it's just me and you here in this room, it is my honor to serve you. Okay? Because entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. It is not for the faint of heart. Even, Erin, I know you're in a corporate environment. You still have to go out every single day and do it on your own. You still basically have your own book of business and you need to treat it as such. Whether or not you go do your own print company or whatever, you're still in that vein, right? It's not for the faint of heart. For those of us that are in the dog every single day, you have to work the funnel and do the work at the same time. It's a balancing act that most people don't even think that they think they understand it, but they don't until they have to pay bills or have people, do you know what I mean? Or have a team. It is not for the faint of heart. So I'm so proud of you for the vulnerability. What networking in corporate America taught me when I transitioned from corporate into creative, it taught me that I do not have a network at all. My network was insular. It was in a single ecosystem. Now, everybody knew me within Pfizer, obviously had been successful. And once again, really, really quickly, and then we'll get into the meat. The reason why it's so important for me is my network was super insular. It was a single ecosystem that I was in, right? Of course, I went to church and had some friends here in this North Texas, but I didn't know the city at all. I didn't know anybody at all, and no one knew me. So that's why it was a kick in the face for me. And I'm going to touch on a few things first, because I think it's important. Crafting your brand. Again, I mentioned people knew me in the Pfizer space. They knew me as a brand in the Pfizer space, in the business setting. They did not know me coming out into creative America. So I think it's important that we take a few minutes to talk about your brand and how you want to show up. For me, I had to build a personal brand and a business brand at the same time. Again, not for the faint of heart. Peggy, you're doing that. Shivani, you're going to do that because you're new in it, right? So you're building a business brand and a personal brand kind of at the same time. Maybe because my guess, Peggy, is you were in the space before, people might know you as a personal brand. I was not in a space that people knew me as a personal brand, right? I was in healthcare for 14 years. No one in entertainment, in media knew me. People experience you like a brand. Keisha, people experience you like Nike. You are a Nike. Tell me your name in the back again. Christina. Christina. Ladies and gentlemen, Christina gets a gold star. Let me tell you why Christina gets a gold star. She reached out to me before this event. She sent me a LinkedIn request before this event. You get a gold star. And I'm telling you that not to brag on you, but that's what it's about. Immediately when you said your name, I was like, oh yeah, I remember your picture. That's networking. Leela, that's networking. It's networking before the network opportunity. She's putting something in my brain so that I'm like, oh, okay. Does it make sense?
Planting a seed.
Planting a seed. We'll double back on that in a minute, but thank you. You're a brand. You're a Lexus. Whatever you are, everybody, you show up as a brand. So you got to treat it like that. Every moment sets the tone. Heather and I walked in together. We said good morning to each other. She didn't know I was coming here. You might have, but I don't know if you looked me up ahead of time.
I didn't plant the seed, no.
She didn't plant. No, but you showed up as a brand. I know you're in healthcare. Not because yes, because I was in healthcare and I know scrubs,
right?
But you're already setting a brand. I show up. Every time I show up as a brand. Why? Because it matters. It matters. It matters if people, for me, it matters if people are going to spend their marketing dollars with our company, with 1820 Production, right? There's two other companies that were in the same ecosphere in here. So how I show up and represent is going to be the deciding factor of if somebody is going to spend marketing dollars, which are very finite. And over the last 2 years, the first thing that's cut on the bottom line is marketing. So if I don't show up and say, and build subconsciously that I will take care of your money, because the way I present, it matters to me. So I'm going to take care of your brand like I'm going to take care of my own brand. I'm showing up as excellence. I try to every time I come out the door, every time, because I am showing up as Sara Madsen Miller and I'm showing up as 1820 Productions. Make sense? Yeah. If you, and I'm trying to communicate my brand promise every time the same way. That's why I show up every time the same way. That consistency part, if you don't or haven't considered yourself as a brand, Highlight what sets you apart. Figure out what your unique benefits are and maintain that brand consistency every time. Shavana, as you're transitioning over to doing your own thing, how you show up, how you present, how all that matters. You are showing up today, right? But you are trying to transition people. You know what I'm saying? It matters. Consistency, go ahead.
I was going to ask you, in the corporate America needle that you talked about, building your own brand versus trying to get away from what you've done probably for the past decade or so. Was that a hard transition overall?
Yes. Yeah, no doubt. And I'll give you some weird examples. In corporate America, my hair was most of the time always straight. I can show you pictures that will freak you out about how I look. My hair was always straight or it was pulled back. I'm in creative America now, my term. I hope you guys understand corporate. This is the creative. This is the business. This is the creative. This is the business. And I intentionally have done that way. I don't know if I'm answering your question right now. And we'll probably maybe get into some of that, but yes, it is not for the faint of heart. You have to be intentional every time. And it's this part, consistency builds trust. I don't know if you've ever heard this saying, I'm going to say it. It's one of the most important lessons I've learned in my life. And the Under Armour CEO said it. Trust is earned in drops and it's lost in buckets. It's earned in drops and it's lost in buckets. Heather doesn't have the benefit of having a bad day with anybody's mouth because that person with their mouth is going to run their mouth and tell everybody that they had a bad experience. She's earning it in drops. She's been around for 4 years, just won an award. So it's clear that you are earning the trust of people. But if you have a bad day, she's going to lose it. And it'll take her a long time to build it back. No pressure, Heather. It just is what it is. No, it's fact. It's facts.
100%. Yes.
Pattern shape how people work with you. I don't know if I answered your question.
You did.
Okay, very good. And we'll get into more of it. I know we talked. Let's not call it sales. Who likes sales in this room? Anybody?
No.
Honest. I love your honesty. What do you love about sales?
It's pitching, but it's helping people, not really like selling people what they don't want. As long as you know what they want and you have a solution what they need, that is exactly what you do.
I don't know if the online people can see me even right now. Hannah just got another gold star too. Hannah's the only one in this room that raised her hand that she loves sales.
I'd like to say something, if that's okay.
Go
This
ahead,
is
say
Nancy. I like sales because I think that sales applies to every industry. Like you got to be able to sell your product, whatever it is.
Good. Thank you for sharing it. I appreciate that. That adds on to what Hannah said.
And if I can share, the sales part, you're always selling yourself. And not in the bad way, but in the sense of that sales part is not about the salesperson that talks to you and trying to sell whatever. But every time that we walk into a room or that we're online or in the presence, we're selling our brand, personal brand and all that. So that part of sales, I like, not the one that we have the bad rep from.
I love it. I love it. Okay, we're going to jump in there. You guys should be here to teach the class because I'm going into that right now. I love it. This is great discussion. Thank you, online crew, for saying your thoughts too. And I love that people online are raising their hands. For people that are online and in local, not raising your hands, let's just not call it sales. Call it whatever you want to call it. For me, you could call it service or you could call it influence. Whatever you want to call it, you're doing it anyway. And like Hannah mentioned, you know, it's the service. You're trying to serve somebody else. You're trying to give them something that is benefiting for their life. You're trying to help neurodivergent, did I say it right? In the IT space, you're trying to help people serve people.
Yep.
Peggy, you're trying to help young people serve one another in a physical therapy, or you're trying to help parents serve their children in a physical therapy space, right? You're trying to make them feel comfortable. I don't fully know what your business is, but you're trying to make people feel comfortable in a very difficult situation, right? And then you're trying to get them to an outcome that is good for them, for their body, for the long term. Keisha, you mentioned you are in real estate development, but really at the end of the day, it's about your nonprofit.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right. So it's influence, it's service, whatever you want to call it, you're doing it because 40% of your life you're doing it. Who in here has kids? Just about everybody inside here. And online, my guess is that you are too. Well, so you're selling every day. You're selling all day long to your kids. Thanks, Jack. You are. And if you don't have kids, anybody married? Yeah, Hannah, you didn't raise your hand for kids. I'm not either, but I'm a fur mom. And I definitely have to negotiate with my dog. Anyway, you're selling 40% of your lives with your significant others. You're trying to influence them to do what you want. So you're selling. You just might be calling it something different. You're calling it love as opposed to sales. But at the end of the day, it's influence, right? And for me, I'm different. There's two different types of salespeople. There's transactional and there's personal. I'm on the more personal side. I'm not a transactional salesperson, nothing wrong with it. Sometimes I wish I was, because asking for the sale is sometimes harder for me than it might be for other people because I'm personal. You have to figure out what your thing is, right? The way that you're going to do it, Leela, is the way that you're going to do it, right? And you're just influencing in a different way, whatever makes most sense to you. I'm a very curious person. I like to learn about people. I genuinely have never met a stranger. My husband thinks I'm crazy, but I can sit down next to somebody, walk in with somebody, be in an elevator, and he's like, you have life stories in like 2 minutes. I love learning about people, and because what makes them tick and what do you know that I need to know? I'm just very curious. So that's the way I show up, is that way. Maybe for you, it's you show up you're in healthcare, you're healthcare adjacent a little bit because you're in eyes.
My clients
Are
often tend
healthcare,
to be,
right?
yes.
So you, I'm sure, get trades from the healthcare space or eye space or what's happening in technology as it relates to eyes and eye care, right? That's the way you show up. You might show up with information.
Yes.
That's how you lean in. You're influencing based on the information, the lens that you're getting it in, right? You're digesting because of your 14 years of experience. It's probably more than that. Your years of experience, you're digesting information and sharing it with your clients based on the lens that you have. You are a service to them. So everybody should be raising your hand when somebody says, do you love sales? Heck yeah, because I'm a service. I influence. I can share with you insight that will help you do better in whatever you're doing. It's just that simple. Making sense a little bit? Okay. I created something that, wait, you know what, Hannah, let me go back to something that you said earlier. And actually, Siobhan, you were asking me, and I want to pinpoint something and I want to share it. Somebody wrote something to me, so I wanted to share it. How I show up as a brand. And you asked me a tough question about that transition, right? That you're about to go through. I was at a luncheon on Friday and I saw somebody and was hugging a friend of mine who happens to be CEO of a nonprofit in Dallas. I was hugging her and just, learning about what's going on with her. Another friend walked up, and normally you might be done with one friend and greet the next and just start this conversation. In my brain, as they're both standing there, I'm like, these two need to know each other, because they're both CEOs. The one friend that came up as a CEO of a big magazine. I'm like, these two need to know each other. So then I stood there for a minute, Tracy, and I was like, hey, then I ran down the litany of who this person is, and ran down the litany of who this person is and why they should know each other, which is what I would have done for you and Peggy had I had chance, you guys should know each other, right? And then I walk away from the situation and I then took it upon myself to connect them physically, but after the fact, on this past Monday, I then sent a note to each of them, gave each of them their LinkedIn connects, right? So I took the time. I'm not even in the business. It's not even for me. It's for them. But that's how I lean into networking also. right? I'm connecting to people. Here's the email that I got back from one of the CEOs. And I'm not saying it to brag. I'm just saying it as a brand, why it matters, okay? Sarah, you're such a thoughtful connector. Always the best dressed. Clock it. But more importantly, the best soul and heart that uplifts everyone and everything around you. Again, I am not saying it to brag. I'm saying it because it's all these are brands that I have intentionally, that's how I move through life. I'm a connector. It's the first thing that I do. If I can connect people, I'm like, oh, y'all need to know each other. Do this. You're both women. Yes. Get it together. You guys should have coffee. I'm going to step out of the conversation. It's y'all. So she said that I am best dressed. I show up every time because it matters, because I'm a brand, business and personal. And then more importantly, best soul and uplifts everyone and everything around you. That gave me life. It's how I move through life. My whole job is to love people. And if that comes out, best day, right? Best day. Help answer a little bit more. Okay, good. Okay. I know we got to get going, Lourdes. I put together a kind of a method to help walk through it. That's a little easier. Okay. It's the deal method. Define, enter, advance, lead. Deal. Define, enter, advance, lead. To get the deal, yes, makes sense. It's a deal method to get the deal. Define, enter, advance, lead. We're going to go into it. Define, what do you do? We did it already, kind of, they did it online. You guys did it in the room. Who you serve, the problem you solve, the outcome, or the proof point. The only thing that I didn't hear in here when you did your 30 seconds is the proof. We do this, and here's an example. We recently did this. Peggy, I recently did this and helped this. Heather, you did kind of say it, not together. I recently won the Woman of the Year from the Chamber. I did that because people trust me with their mouth, right? You said it, and you said it under kind of your breath a little bit, or while you were pulling the mic away from you. I do it cost effectively. I do it cheaper than everything else. But you did it when the mic was going away from you. You better lead with that. You have great results. Because you're killing it. You wouldn't get entrepreneur the chamber wouldn't give you an award if it wasn't a fact, right? Lead with it. This is why they're doing it. The proof is this. Yeah. Anybody else want to take a stab at their proof point? Just tell me their proof point. I heard everything about it. Take a stab at your proof point. Keisha, what's your proof point? Tell me something that you've done in real estate. What's your proof point?
Made good connections with people in the market, like lenders, and building my power team.
Yep, I want you to go a little further for me. I just did a deal that did this. Is there a deal that you've done recently, or an opportunity that you've done recently that I closed this deal, I connected these people, and it resulted in this person getting a home or this building being sold, and then that got me money for my nonprofit? Actually, don't dilute it with your nonprofit. That's you. Because at the end, initially, you want people to deal with you because of real estate, right?
Yes.
Right. So that I need you to think of a proof point. While you're thinking of a proof point, give me a proof point.
Okay. So we like to educate our clients, especially with technology and cybersecurity. And we push cybersecurity mostly because recently we kept one of our biggest clients from being hacked on a Saturday morning when someone got into their billing, which would have been access to bank accounts and payroll and records. And because of the software we used, we were able to stop it in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's the proof point. That's what I mean, Keisha. That's the proof point. That's what I want to hear from you. You helped somebody financially save money, or whatever. Give me 1 second. I don't want to stop with you. And do you know how much you saved the client?
I think they're a multi-million-dollar. So I don't know exactly how much money we would have saved them because I don't have access to their
Sure, I get that.
But
But it's considerable
But for
damage to the
yeah,
infrastructure.
the client's been around since the 80s and they're a large company, so it could have devastated their business.
That part. You were, come back to you, Keisha. There's something you want to.
So I don't have a deal as yet because I just started real estate, but
Congrats.
because of my connections and my networking, someone from the Denton County Friends of the Family reached out to me, the transitional housing director, wanted me to connect to them with someone that's looking for places to stay.
Very good. We help unhoused find places to stay.
Yeah.
I am a connector to help unhoused find places to stay, which helps families be secure in the city.
Yes.
I just
Sarah, we have a question in the virtual room from Nancy Morales.
Okay.
Go ahead, Nancy.
Come on, Nancy, take yourself off on mute.
Sorry, I was multitasking. You know how it goes. So you were asking a question about how do you show your product, or what was the question? Can you ask the question again? And I had an answer.
It was about proof. And if you have a proof point, Nancy, you can get into it. If not, then we're going to keep rolling through.
Yes. So I wanted to say that because I have a startup in healthcare for primary care and other things that we are planning on adding on to the clinic. So I met a doctor many years ago when I was a registered nurse while doing volunteering work as a nurse. And I had a really difficult time finding a supervising physician or a collaboration, which is required in Texas for nurse practitioners. So I was able to, he agreed to supervise me because of, that connection and what my brand and what he knew about me from many years ago. And so I don't know if that's an example of it, but I was thinking that may fit into that.
We'll take it, Nancy. We'll take it. We're going to keep moving on, though. Thank you, Nancy. Appreciate your bravery. Thank you very much. Okay, we're moving from define. Everybody get define? Any other questions for define? Enter. Enter the right rooms. Choose rooms that are aligned with your growth and who you want to meet. Don't just go just to go. Actually, I'm a fan of just going to go. I'm a fan of just going to go because I think anywhere that I can connect and help. But if you're just starting off, Shavana, Peggy, you can't just go to go because you're building at the same time, right? And you might have to be a little bit more selective of where you're going to go. I research the room. I research the room before I go. If there's a list somewhere or whatever of an event or something that's happening, I am researching the room. I'm going to reach out like Kristen did and connect if I can with somebody beforehand. Say, oh, I can't wait to hear you. I'm looking forward to meeting you after da 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 da. I have been known to go to multiple events in a night because there's been somebody at one event that I've been trying to get them on LinkedIn, couldn't get them. This is a very true story. Was trying for years to get with a creative director at an agency for years, saw that he was on a panel. I was already booked at 2 other things that night, 2 other things. But I rearranged my schedule so I could be there on the front end so that I could meet him. I knew I could work in the room to meet him, right? Happened, hooray. That's why I did it. Because you can't always get them on LinkedIn. They're not always going to respond to you. But if you can be in proximity and work your way into it and introduce yourself, Leela, that's what it's all about. I'm going to take it away from before and go to inside. Now, this is tough for some people inside the room because that's where fear has been my thing, right? I'm like, the imposter syndrome, all the things, right? right? I might be up here and you see me talking to all of you like this, comfortable, but I promise you I have anxiety. Almost every big room that I walk in, for sure. I'm like, oh my gosh, especially if I don't know anybody in the room, it's like, oh, who am I going to talk to? What am I going to do? I have a thing on my screensaver is, faith over fear. Because I know that is my predisposition. So I have to prepare to be in the room, right? And how I do it is I try to come up with, if it's some research or something that's happening in the news, I'll watch the news, I'll read the Dallas Business Journal or whatever. I'll try to get some current events. I'll walk in and just, I love fashion. So if I see something that's cute, I'll be like, oh, that's so cute. And that's just a way that it helps my brain to just calm down. It helps me just calm down a little bit and show up a little bit more as myself. If I can laugh or make somebody else laugh, that's the way I do it. That's how I come in. Figure out what it is for you. And I'm going to give you some tips of how I do it. Most all the time, I never see a bathroom and not use it. It's just, I drink a lot of water and all that kind of stuff. I just do. So that's always, I use that as my exit. Because, if I need to collect myself, I literally almost always have to, I came in having to go to the restroom. Didn't I, Tracy? Yes. I mean, it really is. But that can be an exit, Leela. If that's not your strength to be in those rooms like that, use that as an exit. Do not, if you go in with friends, if you go in with a posse or a person that you know, don't just stay with who you know. That is the way we all try to leave. Right? Is you grabbing on to whoever you know and you sit with them and you eat with them and you kiki and you're like, I was just at the best event, but you didn't meet anybody. Why? Because you're with people that you know. You have to push yourself outside of that comfort zone. And then I'm changing this how to work a room into expand. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Expand your network through leadership programs. And I have a different slide that I'm going to put up or send up. Through leadership programs, networking events in the industry, outside of the industry, I sit on a lot of boards, nonprofit boards. It's how I've expanded my network. You were just talking about that you did leadership Metroport. Metroport. Does anybody know what that is? It's a leadership program that's more on the Fort Worth side of the house. I did Leadership Dallas. I'm just going to give you my example, but you can share yours. Leadership Dallas. I met 50 people in the course of 9 months and got deep relationships with them. And then I met another 50 people because they asked me to be like an advisor. But I met 100 people in 2 years that I never would have met on my own one-on-one. So just consider different programs, sitting on boards, all that kind of stuff. Because again, I said earlier, your network is your currency. Half of you, not even half, I'm not going to say that. There's a few of you in here that entrepreneurship might not be for you and you might not do it, right? For forever. But your network is how you're going to get another job. It's your currency. So if entrepreneur is not for you, that's still how you're going to get another job, is through your network. So it's not just for your business, it's for you personally too, or for your friends. Advance the conversation. 3 layers of that. For me, it's finding an entry point, right? What you do, how you do it, what's your challenge that shows up, that kind of stuff. And it's on a one sheet that you'll all get, and you'll get it online as well. For me, I use conversation to get into it. I don't just jump into what do you do and all that kind of stuff. It's not, I'm going to talk about the weather and then I ask about what you do. That's how we showed up today, Heather and I, right? It's how you work. I'm going to touch on this, the goal. The goal is always to get the next meeting, to get a call, a coffee, an introduction, a follow-up of some sort. I'm going to say this as you guys are building out, as you're building out your businesses. This is your time pillar. Mm-hmm. Not everybody gets coffee. Not everybody gets a lunch. Some people just get a call. Some people get an introduction, because this is your time. This represents your time. For key people, I'm going to definitely do a lunch. I'm going to try to get them to a coffee, but a lot of people, it's just a Zoom, because your time is precious. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Very cool. I can go fast forward because we only have a few more minutes left, because some people might have questions. I haven't asked now, but thank you for the engagement. Is this helping anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lead the follow-up. Define, enter the room, advance the conversation, lead the follow-up. Rule of thumb for me, within 24 hours, short personal note, LinkedIn, connect, all that kind of stuff. Within 30 days, find some article or something to send back to them, and then 90. Yep.
Did you say we were gonna get this deck?
You're not going to get the deck. You're going to get a one sheet that has all the business notes. Within 90 days, you're following back up with something. I'm sure that's what you're doing, Aaron, is you're following back up. If you don't have a CRM or some kind of CRM, does everybody have a CRM? Do you understand what it stands for? Customer Relationship Manager. I used Pipeliner for years. What I'm using right now is less annoying CRM. It's much more cost effective. It's not the big shebang like Salesforce, Hubstaff, or whatever. Find what works best for you. If you don't have anything, use Excel. And if you don't have anything in Excel, use ChatGPT to create it for you. Because it can. The multiplier effect of the strategic network, that's all that it is. That is all that Heather is working on right now. Do you do any traditional advertising?
A little bit.
Bit, maybe print,
A little print, local advertisement.
billboards, or what?
No billboards. It's a neighborhood mag, but it's to a affluent giant.
Sure.
neighborhood.
Right. So, but by and large, your strategic network is your multiplier. It's people telling people
Very
about
much
who
so.
you are. That's the
Referrals is huge.
That's the strategy of what Heather is doing. She's got a multiplier effect on her network, helping her sell. Okay. Pro tip. Who's using LinkedIn in here? Everybody? Very good. Just spend 10 minutes a day on it. Use AI for everybody using AI. Who's using it? Who's not using it? Who's not using it? I'm going to give you
I
some
know how to, but I choose not to.
copy. That's fair.
To make myself different from everyone else that is.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Fair. As entrepreneurs, you can use it to help you source, research, write, whatever. If you're not comfortable with it, see the IT people because they are very comfortable with it. Quick reminder, define, enter, advance, lead, get yourself seen, helps you get remembered, helps you get referred, and at the end of the day, chosen. And I've got a challenge for you. It's the 3-2-1 challenge. You ready for it? Attend 3 events, reconnect with 2 dormant contacts, and make 1 strategic introduction. That's the challenge. 3-2-1. Attend 3 events, reconnect with 2 dormant contacts, and make 1 strategic introduction within the next 30 days. Can you do it?
Yeah.
Because if you do, you'll never know how great you are until you push yourself to the limit, right? If you do the deal method, you'll get deals. If you define who you are, you enter the right rooms, you advance the conversation, and you lead with the follow-up, you will not be invisible like you are now. That's all I've got. Questions, anybody? Thank you. I'll take any questions. Yes.
I have a question. Okay, so
Yes.
this could be partially occupational hazard. I'm in fundraising, so I'm doing a lot of what you're talking about. I've noticed some of what used to energize me socially is now depleting me in a way where I feel like that metabolic social battery that I used to have, has somewhat diminished. And I don't know if it's just because of where I'm channeling my energy that maybe isn't the most lucrative, but I'm just curious if you have any tips to kind of get my mojo back in those spaces.
Yeah, it's been really kind of a dog the last couple of years.
Man.
Because their funds are shifting, are really furious out there, right, in that space. You really have to, if you don't do self-care, I would highly recommend it. You have to go back to the spraying of events, to the focused events that you think are going to be the most beneficial to you to really help you get the donor dollars. And use maybe your connections a little bit better, people to introduce you to people so that you don't have to go everywhere. For me, I super protect my Saturdays and Sundays. Like people are like, can we do brunch? I'm like, no, because I need to recharge, because my responsibility is to the team at 1820 Productions to go out and fight this fight every day. And I have to be, this is my moneymaker. This is it, right? I'm the one that does biz dev. So I have to be fully present to be available for all of you. It was my responsibility, because Tracy and Lourdes have handed me this responsibility to be with you today and to serve you today, to make sure that I got rest. And I could have done something last night and I said no. So I really try to protect that. Like on Saturday mornings, my husband and I do gratitude walks. It's how we help remind ourselves, gratitude with our dog. And people have said, can you do brunch? Can you meet me and walk with me? I'm like, no, because this is what refuels me to make sure that I'm available and present. It's not like I won't do stuff on Saturdays, but I'm really much more choosy. That before the pandemic, I was everywhere. I am much more choosy after the pandemic.
Interesting.
Does that help?
No, brilliant. Thank you.
Mhm.
Anyone online?
Anyone online?
Yes, we have a question about software you prefer. And you might even think back to when you were more of a solopreneur, because that's what a lot of our clients are, Sarah.
And what's the question for solopreneur?
The question was, please tell us about the software you use and how you use it, which could actually be an entire WeRISE. So maybe just mention a couple of software CRMs or project management that you prefer.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. I didn't hear that it was software. I used to use Pipeliner, and I switched recently over to Less Annoying CRM.
Love that name.
That's the name of it.
I remember that
Less
one.
Annoying CRM. And why I love it. And I researched, as well as somebody else on our team, researched all of them, like the Hubstaff, the Zing, the Zoho, Begin. I mean, there's a lot of different platforms out of there. This one kind of strips it down, and it still has an app. It still has all the key things that you need. For me, I need a relationship manager. If you have things that you sell, like widgets, nobody in this room has like a widget, I don't think. You might want something like a sale Hubstaff or something like that tracks your widgets, but that's not what I needed. I needed a relationship manager, and Less Annoying CRM has been the best one, and it's the most cost-effective one right now. ChatGPT has put out a CRM, but it's super expensive. It makes sense because it can take all the things and put all the things together. It makes sense, but for me, it was not cost-effective. So that's to do, and it will give you a list of which you can research. I'm going to Hannah, and then I'm coming right to you.
Yes, real quick, did Less Annoying CRM have automations?
Did Less Annoying CRMs have automations? Yes. Are you saying that it connects with other software and can auto some of the things for you? Is that what you're looking for?
Like if someone fills out your contact form, could it send a email real quick to them, like a thank you email?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know if I've not used it, but I think I might. It's pretty advanced, and they've stripped it down, and they're super hands-on in setting you up and touch points with you and all that kind of stuff. So you could ask them that question, probably chat and ask them that question, and get back to me, Hannah. Let me know what's in that CRM. Yes.
This is just a quick comment, because I know AI like runs everything with ChatGPT, but especially with all the solopreneurs in here, if you guys are using AI, please use a purchased version of it, and make sure that whatever you're doing, you're not putting your intellectual property inside of a free anything.
For sure.
Because you're just training the big things, and you're putting your personal business out in the world. So I'm sorry, it was just a comment, because
I think it's a great comment and critical. And what she's saying is it's $20 a month. It is an investment if you're using chat or Claude or whatever, it's basically the same price. It's $20 a month. It's beneficial. It's well worth it to pay that money a month to protect yourself. Other questions? We're right at 9. I thank you so much for your time and attention. If there's any other questions, I'm happy to stay up here or if online you have questions, reach out to me. All my contact information is there. It is my pleasure to serve you and happy to continue serving you beyond this day. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. I do want to share one thing though about Sarah, and you don't know I'm going to do this, but when she received that award, she was not the first one on the list. And when she gave her thanks, she knew the name of every single person before her who won the awards and mentioned them all by name. And to me, that is like, oh my gosh. And then of course, everybody, wanted to talk to you then because you brought them up in that conversation. So you can learn a lot from this woman.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. That's the gift of connector, right there. That is the gift of connector. So we can definitely learn so many things, and we're thankful for you making the time today and sharing your great knowledge and experiences along the way. We appreciate that. So for the rest of us, just upcoming events, WeRISE June 9, or WeRISE June 9. It will be LinkedIn Glow Up Workshop. So if Sarah says you should be on LinkedIn, so if you want to glow it up, we have one coming up for you, June 9th, Tuesday, June 9th. We also have applications open for the CWE Acelerador Fast Track in Español. So if you know of anybody that is a Spanish speaker that would benefit from ideation, commitment, preparation, and launching, please let them know. I'm the facilitator. It'll be 100% in Spanish. It's virtual, and we will start June 4th. Applications are open right now. So that is all that we have.
Rural Grant is open.
Oh, the Rural Grant. Sorry. Rural Grant is in here too. Rural Grant is open. And so if you know of anybody in a rural county, it has to be based on the list provided by the Texas Census. So please share that with them. It is a great opportunity for any woman-owned business that is in the Rural Grant area or rural areas. So please share. It will close June 5th. So it'll be before WeRISE the next time we meet. So make sure you share for us, please. And I think that is it for today. Online audience, thank you for joining us today. Sarah's
Bye.
super excited, and we will see you in another 4 weeks.